Hey guys, in the last few days we have gotten a lot of very exciting information about the upcoming Scotland Reserve, and today we finally got the full reveal trailer, including every single of the new species, the release date, and a lot more. Now guys, if you enjoy this kind of content and if you wanna stay up to date with everything related to the Hunter Call of the Wild, please consider subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate it.
Alright pal, welcome to Tornasheen, Scotland. For centuries, adventurers have been drawn here, exploring our rich wilderness and enchanting countryside. Here history and myth interweave to create the stuff of legends. Up on the Highlands, it's more than a wee bit nippy. Only the toughest wildlife survive here. And the greatest prize of all is the red deer. It's a scene straight off a shortbread tin. Down in the Midlands, the hills roll right into vast moors of heather. Without much shelter, residents have taken matters into their own hands, or claws. The European badger might look cute, but 12 stitches will they? Where the fields meet the forests, you'll find an animal at home in both. The pine marten. You'll often see one out on the hunt for anything from bugs to berries, if you can actually spot the wee barra. The woods here are home to some unique and interesting species, as well as artefacts from times long ago. In the lowlands to the south, you'll find the bonny Caistel Elan. It's a must for any visitor and offers a smashing view of the water. Our rivers and lochs play host to all sorts of wildlife. I hear the most elusive of them all has been spotted down below. The mink diving deep to catch its dinner. Hey, what did you think I meant? There's a natural beauty to Scotland that's almost magical. But it's the land's legends that'll put you under her spell. Even with all the stories you've heard. I bet we've got a few twists in store. So, come on. We can't wait for you to begin your tale at Tornasheen, Scotland.
So first of all, it has been confirmed that this reserve will come with 17 different species, and 5 of those species will be completely exclusive to the map. The first of those species is the European badger, which is a very popular animal in Scotland and that we can expect to be most likely class 2 species, since the badgers in real life can reach weights up to nearly 20 kilograms. That's definitely way too heavy to be class 1 species, so they have to be class 2. I would certainly expect these guys to go up to level 5 medium, and it has been confirmed that these badgers will have a burrowing mechanic which is similar to the one the European rabbit have, which makes me wonder if they are gonna have any kind of discoverable zones in addition to the burrows, or if they will be limited to existing exclusively around the burrows just as the European rabbits do. Either way, this burrowing mechanic is very interesting and I can't wait to see exactly how it works and how much it will affect the way we'll have to hunt these badgers. Apart from the badger, another of the exclusive species we know will be included on this map is the American mink. Just as a badger, the American mink is part of the Mustelidae family that consists of a wide number of small carnivorous mammals, including weasels, badgers, otters, martens, and wolverines. This is a very small species that would definitely expect to be class 1, since their weight normally ranges from just a few hundred grams to about 1.5 kilos. It'll be interesting to see how effective the 22 caliber and the shotguns will be, and if it's gonna be possible to get a full score without having to hit a barrel. I imagine it will be. Minks are actually semi-aquatic animals, and as we have seen on some of the last trailers, they are gonna have the ability to swim, at least in some areas. It is also possible that these minks will have the sort of burrowing mechanic I mentioned earlier, because these creatures actually have burrows in real life. Another of the new species that will be getting with Scotland is the pine marten, which again is also a mustelid and is similar in appearance to the American mink, with the difference that the pine martens tend to live close to the trees while the minks tend to live close to the water. The size of the pine martens is actually not too different to the size of the minks, being able to reach weights close to 2 kilograms, so definitely expect these guys to also be class 1 species that we can hunt with the typical class 1 weapons. It will also be very interesting to see these guys having a tree climbing mechanic, because in real life they are fantastic climbers. And in case they are actually class 1, we can definitely expect both the American minks and the pine martens to reach a max level of level 3 very easy. They are gonna be very fun to hunt, and I can't wait. Now, having mentioned the 3 Mustelids that will be coming with this update, now it's time to go over the other 2 new species, starting with the red grouse. The red grouse is a rather exciting species for me, being myself such a big fan of hunting upland bears on this game, but I will say that from the looks of it, the model on these guys will be very similar, if not identical, to the willow ptarmigans, which honestly makes sense if we consider that they are almost the same species in real life. You know, the red grouse used to be considered a regional subspecies of the willow ptarmigan, although nowadays they are classified as a completely separate species that is only found on both Britain and Ireland. Apparently the most noticeable difference between these red grouses and the willow ptarmigans will be the color and the plumage, being the color plumage on the red grouses very similar, if not exactly the same, to the red plumage on the willow ptarmigan, which is a rare. And I imagine the difference is that the red grouse will have the plumages you would typically see on the willow ptarmigans during the summer, because the willow ptarmigans tend to change the color of their feathers depending on the season, being mostly white during the winter to blend in with the snow, and mostly a mix of brown, red and other colors during the summer to blend in with other kinds of terrain. What truly excites me about these guys is honestly the possibility of seeing rares and plumages that we didn't happen to see on the willow ptarmigans, because you know, the willow ptarmigans have whites and reds for the rares, so I honestly wonder if they are gonna do the inverse for these red grouses, or if maybe they are gonna do some new plumages. It's gonna be exciting to see, and I'm also curious to see if the weight will be any different, hopefully. You know, I'm certainly very excited to hunt these new red grouses, they are gonna be a lot of fun, but I would be lying if I say that they excite me as much as the 5th and the last new species that is coming with this map, which is none other than the Eurasian woodcock. I'm excited for the badgers, I'm excited for the minks, for the pine martens, but for me the woodcocks are the highlight of this map. I just love how they look, and I simply can't wait to go out with a shotgun looking for the tracks trying to find trophies, and especially the rares. For the rares, I guess we can expect to see something like albino, melanistic, maybe leucistic. I believe they have leucistics in real life. So I just can't wait to see what they do with these guys, especially their animations. I hope they are fast, because they are fast in real life. Personally, whenever Scotland comes out, one of the first things I'll do is to go straight to try to find a track of this species and do my absolute best to try to find the bird as quickly as possible. I just can't wait to see how they look inside the Harvest screen. Man, I'm genuinely excited for these guys. I love hunting the great majority of the upland bears on this game, and currently the willow ptarmigan is my absolute favorite. But I would say that these woodcocks have a very high chance of actually competing for that first spot on my case. Now guys, in addition to the 5 new species I just mentioned, the new Scotland Reserve will also include a big number of repeated species. We are getting 17 species in total as I mentioned earlier, and from the 12 repeats we're getting, 3 of those species are getting remasters, being this the wild boar, the roe deer and the red deer. Based on what we have seen on some of the last trailers as well as on some other images, these 3 species will be completely remastered and they are gonna look a lot different compared to how they look now. For example, the shape of the body on the wild boars is super different, their heads are very different and their fur is a lot higher quality. You know, overall they look like a completely different species and I can't wait to get a closer look at them. Then we also have the roe deer and the red deer that are also gonna look completely different, but by the looks of it, their antlers will remain exactly the same. Exactly the same as they are now. You know, it's still too early to tell, but for example this red deer right here, it seems to have the same level 9 rack we all know. Now guys, when it comes to the release date, it has been confirmed that this map will come out on December 9th and that is gonna include a new great one. What is the new great one gonna be? We still have no idea, but I assume that it's gonna be one of the new remasters, which are the roe deer, the wild boar, or maybe even a remaster of the red deer great one, who knows. Maybe the feral goat as well, is also an option. Either way, these are all very exciting possibilities and I can't wait to see what it is. We probably won't have to wait too long to find that out.